Hi, David here with DG Sessions, and today marks the first video in a series in which I want to talk about ways we can make money through playing the guitar. I've been a professional guitarist now myself for many years, and this video I want to talk about the pros, the cons, and some of the basics of becoming a guitar teacher. If you find this video particularly helpful or interesting, you may want to consider checking out my Patreon store, where you can find a whole course dedicated to becoming a guitar teacher. This includes tips, tricks, everything you need to get started, and some of my personal teaching resources, everything you need to get yourself up and running as a guitar teacher. Please hit like and subscribe on the video below if you want to see more content like this, and let's have a look at some of the interesting aspects of becoming a guitar teacher. Let's begin with the pros and discuss some of the advantages to becoming a guitar teacher. Firstly, in comparison to some of the other approaches I'll be discussing in later videos, setting up a guitar teaching business is a relatively quick process. There's minimal work involved to get up and running, you don't require an awful lot of business knowledge to get started, and providing you can already play the guitar to a reasonable standard, it shouldn't be long before you start getting some students and some extra money coming in each month. Secondly, you don't need to spend an awful lot of money to get yourself started. A guitar teaching business doesn't require much investment at all in terms of things like gear or equipment, and once you are up and running, the monthly expenses that you're going to encounter are going to be fairly minimal. Thirdly, presuming you're starting this business on your own and not working for another company or anything, you can choose to be as flexible as you like with regards to the hours that you work. This means that you could fit in around a part-time or even a full-time job and choose the hours that are going to fit best between your work and home life. Lastly, the income that you see can be both consistent and reliable, providing you're a good guitar teacher. Your students may come to you for months or even years at a time and provide you with a steady income stream over the time that they're working with you. This can be in contrast to some of the other approaches which will provide you with a lump sum at one point, but then nothing afterwards. But before you go off and start setting up your business straight away, let's also consider some of the disadvantages to becoming a guitar teacher. Before we get into these disadvantages, please do remember to hit the like and subscribe button below if you found this video at all interesting or helpful. If you are considering setting yourself up as a guitar teacher, I also recommend heading over to my Patreon page at patreon.com/dgsessions, where you can find my guide to becoming a guitar teacher. This includes all the advice, all the tips, all the tricks that I've found during my years as a guitar teacher, and I've also shared a lot of my own personal teaching resources as well. This makes setting yourself up as a guitar teacher so much easier and so much faster than it would be if you tried to do it all on your own. With that said, let's start looking at these disadvantages. Our first disadvantage may actually turn out to be an advantage depending on the area that you're working in. Guitar teaching can be a very competitive business, so before you get started, make sure you take a look around and see if you can see how many other teachers are available in your current area. Just because there are other teachers around, this doesn't necessarily mean that your business won't work, but you may have to consider investing additional money in things like advertising and marketing in order to stand out from the others in the crowd. Our second disadvantage shows us that guitar teaching may not be for everybody. People learn things in their own time and at their own pace. So if you're the kind of person who frustrates easily and doesn't have a lot of time for people, then you may need to reconsider guitar teaching as an option. You need to be prepared to spend a lot of time with people and be aware that people learn things in their own way, and you may have to adjust your teaching approach in order to get something through. If this doesn't sound like something you think you can do, then perhaps consider one of the other options in one of the other videos. Be prepared for an awful lot of repetition. This does not just mean with one particular student where you might have to repeat the same subject over and over again a few times in order to get it to sink in. This also means that when you're teaching different students, you are likely to be covering the same topics. Most of your students as a guitar teacher are likely to be beginners, and you're going to be going over the same basic chords, basic notes, basic string names an awful lot of times. So if this feels like something that might annoy or frustrate you, then please consider another option. Lastly, if you're hoping to develop this into anything more than just a little bit of extra cash each month, please bear in mind that like any other business, it will take you time to get exactly where you're trying to be. Like all other businesses, this one will require experimentation with regards to things like marketing, advertising, and finding what works for you and your business within your area. You need to put the time in and the work in, and whilst my guide on Patreon can definitely help with these things, it's no substitute for finding and taking the time to grow your business properly. Any shortcuts that you take in this area are unlikely to yield very good results. Now, I know many people are struggling with money at the moment, so please do remember, hit that like and subscribe button if you found this video particularly helpful. If this hasn't suited you, then please bear in mind that I'm going to try and post some more videos on this subject later on, so do hit that subscribe button still. Hopefully this has helped you, and I'll catch you next time.